once you've seen one, you've seen them all. It's like flamenco dancing. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. Ballet dancing. Ballet dancing. Traditional ballet dancing. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. You're going to say to me, I haven't seen any. There's loads online. Oh, thunder all through the night. Promise to see Jesus in the morning light. Take my hand, it will be alright. Come and save your soul tonight. If I could sing, I would for you, but I can't. So, yes, once you've seen one flamenco, don't ever ask me to go. Don't ever ask me to go to a flamenco session. And the reason why is because my daughter, from the age of 6 till she was 15, we had to participate in every flamenco competition or every flamenco gathering, which normally started about 6 o'clock and finished at about 1, 2 in the morning. And next is San Sebastian School with flamenco dancing. Thank you so much. One fresh young coconut. I am so very grateful. Thank you so much. No, they said I could have it free. Yeah, they said it was free. No, I'm joking. I'll pay cash for it. When I finished, I'll pay cash. Okay, I'll pay cash when I finished. I won't run away. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You too. Yeah, forget it. Jokes, don't even bother. Because different language, you see. So I just try and... It's just my own silly Yorkshire humour. It's just, it's ingrained into us. If you're born in Yorkshire, sorry, you're just a sarcastic Yorkshire pudding. So, yeah, not done anything today, to be fair. I really know what to say. I haven't done anything. I've been lazy. I've uploaded some new crystals, not many. Bought some crystals. Had some crystals designed today. That said, I work all bloody day. It's just doesn't feel like I have. So I meditated this morning, went for a nice long walk, had a swim down here, then worked on about 4 different designs of crystal prototypes, worked on some crystals that I'm bringing back with me from Bali, from here. Just went to see a couple of people to see if I could work with them and if I liked their design work. Somebody else. I've kind of opted not to. Too glamorous, too big, too much of an expression for my liking. I like crystals to be just a crystal. Anyway, so yeah, I have been fairly busy today. Shut up, Mark. It's starting to sound like you are busy. Busy every day. So I'm sat on a beautiful chair. That's one big wood chair. I got a coconut, and let me just show you what a fresh coconut. If you've never been to Bali, or if you've never been to a Caribbean island, right, then you won't even recognise this. It won't make any sense to you, because the coconuts, you know, if you're from Yorkshire, you have to get a drill. Basically, you need a pneumatic drill to get to eat the coconut. So this is how it should look: coconut flesh. show you in my hand. Now, if you're from Yorkshire, you're going to say, oh, that looks like tripe. Absolutely gorgeous. Full to the top. So I was on my own. Nobody here for a good 20 minutes now. Oh, next to me. Gosh, that is beautiful. I don't know how many coconuts I've had, but I've had a lot. And I didn't put the lime in the coconut. And they normally always have a piece of lime. So I don't put the lime in the coconut, and I definitely don't shake it all up. So there you go. What are you doing? Where are you? What have you been up to? Just for those that sometimes see some of my posts and think that I'm being negative or being, you know, pushy or whatever, I just put a post out there saying, you know, what are you doing today? Just to remind you all, what have you been doing today, you know? Sat in front of the black screen, have you accomplished anything? Have you done anything? The only reason why I've done that is just to shake you up like I shake myself up. Most of the posts that I put out there are for myself. I don't make a post intentionally for a subject. I make a post because that's how I'm feeling. That's how you can know when somebody, like, you can't fool people, because for years we've seen what state of mind you're in by your post. I mean, it doesn't take a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist to figure out when you're talking about, you know, how you know, you should treat a woman, that whoever you're going with or whoever you've been with treat you like a piece of shit that day or that week or that month. So it's an extension. Everything that you put out there is an extension of how you're feeling normally. That's normally guaranteed. It's not 100%, but it's normally that way. You put a shitty post out there negative, it's probably because you're feeling negative. So when you see a lot of my negative posts, it's because probably I'm feeling crap that day or negative, or, you know, being attacked by, you know, so-called followers, you know. Do you know some of your worst followers, your worst enemy are actually your best clients? The most, I tell you, they can't keep away, and yet they don't realize that they actually love you. They have no clue their anger and their frustration, but actually they actually really like you, and they don't know it. They just can't figure it out. So they're normally your number one fans, are the ones that are the nastiest, and they really are your number one fans. They're probably the first ones to see what you've put out there, knowing deep down that there is something about you or Mark Bayersky or whoever it is that they're attacking or having a go at. Conscious knows deep down that there's something that this person's saying that's genuine. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't post anything on your wall and have a go at you. If you truly know somebody is full of shit, if you truly know somebody, you think that you just, the person is ridiculous, absolutely, you wouldn't follow them, you wouldn't go after them, you wouldn't put memes out there, you wouldn't do videos about them, you wouldn't jump on their posts and say things, nasty things, or inbox them. It's because there's something, they're being pulled to you. It's not always the mirror effect. Sometimes we are here to help people get through their pain. How many times have you, as a healer, if any of you guys are watching, you're healers, you'll know this, And I'm not talking about certified healers. I'm talking about kind people who really truly want to make a difference in this world and get up for the sake of humanity. You guys will know who you are. I'll give you a great example of what I'm talking about. You speak to my daughter and ask her the truth. She'll probably tell you that I spend more time helping people than her. That'll be her honest opinion. I give more time to other people. Now, if I was a selfish piece of shit, I wouldn't be bothered about anybody that I didn't know and just be focused on my daughter full time. Now, work that out. So, I care about humanity, I care about people, and I've done this work for 20 years now. And I've stood in front of thousands of people, and I genuinely stand there wanting people to feel better. And there's been many an occasion where the person that has created the event, if somebody's been a little bit off, they often come up to me and say, "Are you okay with this person? She's been a bit mean or a bit OTT or a bit cruel, or she's been like, she's not very nice. She's kind of trying to attack you and make you look stupid." And I've never, ever once said, "Get rid of them," because I care. I care about that person. And I know deep down that that person's suffering. The expression that she's giving isn't anything to do with the conversation. It's about how she's feeling. And I know she's feeling bad. So I'm going to do my best to make her feel good. And there's reasons for that as a healer, because we want to raise the frequency in the room. And if the room is with one person in a bad place, then you can't raise the room's frequency to where you want it to be. And that's my understanding. Now, you could say, well, how come if everybody's vibrating at a high frequency, how come that person isn't? I don't know. But I do know that I do focus on that one person, because I won't start the real healing session or the meditation or what we're about to do. It might be astral travel or something. Before we start, I need to get that lady who's in a bad place into a good place. So you've got an equal level energy. So there's no interference. Nobody's going to have a bad trip in the sense of nobody's going to, feel negative. You need all the room to be in good energy. So a good healer will take control of the room and see the room and feel the room and know if somebody's not in a good place. And he will head over to that person and he will give his love and attention and his healing to that person till that person's feeling better. So quite often, me being Yorkshire, I try and make jokes and try and make them feel better and say, no, you're absolutely right what you're saying. And she is right in what she's saying, even though she's attacking me. She's not attacking me. She's in a bad place. And she's right in what she's saying, and I'll agree. And it's a great point. And let's just look at that. It's brilliant. Let's talk about that now. And then feed her ego, make her feel a bit better. And then, by the way, I didn't poop then. That was a gecko. And last night at 3 o'clock in the morning, I got. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, what was that? And it was. I jumped out of bed. It's like a scene from My Cousin Vinny when he's in the forest with that. Again, that wasn't me. That's either a gecko or a frog. Honest. So, where were we? It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock here in Bali. I've got one more day, one more full night, and I'm in a luxury apartment. I don't know why that happened, in the sense of it was like a little miracle. It's so beautiful here. It's so beautiful and so peaceful and quiet. I've spent the whole day just being in just a good place. Whatever I've done today, I've been in a good place. somebody mentioned to me, why do you talk about things that you know is going to cause controversy? And I actually meditated on that yesterday, thought about it. And maybe there is still some ego in me that I'm wanting some kind of, I don't know, attraction, or maybe I want people to come onto my side. I don't know. But when I do it, I, I genuinely do it because I'm in a place of the way I feel like when somebody sends me a post about something that I have a difference of opinion, my experience, I feel, is just as relevant as anybody else's, although I get a lot of grief from it. No, excuse me, it wasn't me. Any, I've, I, and somebody said that I had to go at David Icke. I'm not having a go at David Icke. David Icke's done his research. He's compiled all his stuff together. I haven't read his books. I've got dyslexia and dyspraxia, and his books are like the size of, 3 Bibles put together. I just, for one thing, I don't have the time. But what I did do is when the light trap came out from David, it was on Iconic, and it popped up on my feed. So I watched it. Of course, I love David. I've been to see David a lot of times, and I've sat down 10 hours listening to his work. So don't say I don't know him or you don't understand him. Of course, I understand him. It's just this one topic. That's all, and it's my topic. It's because of what I've done. So in that moment when he sat with Gareth said, "So what would you do? What would you do then, Dad, when you die?" And David said, and I am paraphrasing. It's not 100%, but you'll find it if you look for it. You might find it. He says, "Well, I wouldn't go into the light, that's for sure." So at that point, I'm like, "Hang on a minute. You can't. If that's your answer to a book, that's quite frightening." Because what I got from that was, well, if you're not going to go into the light, there's only one other place you're going to go. You're going to turn your head. You're going to move away from the light, from the door, whatever it may be that you're pulled to as a spiritual being, not hijacked. You're pulled. It's a natural thing that happens. If you decide not to of free will and you turn for whatever reason, and you're going to be trapped in between two worlds. And why would I say that? Because I've spent 2 decades in thousands of properties helping spirit trapped in between two worlds. And some of the reasons why they got trapped is because, one, they were frightened to go or vibrate home because they were fearful of what they'd done, i.e. they hung themselves, or there was a bad accident and there was fear attached to the accident. And at times when fear is attached to your transition, it can have an effect that you might not go into the light. Not everybody. But there's been times, how can I prove this? I can't, but I can tell you that when I've sat in a room, or sat in a building, or sat on a farm, or sat in a church or a pub, and I can feel that person in between two worlds. You call them ghosts. They're trapped in between two worlds. They're not gone home. They're in between two worlds. Okay, that's what I call it, trapped in between two worlds. They didn't go home because of certain reasons. Now, when I sit, I close my eyes, and imagine you were sat next to me, and I started picking up things about how you feel. That's what psychics do. They sit down, close their eyes, and start feeling things and saying, something doesn't feel right. It feels like, and then all of a sudden you start like, okay, this person's been abused. Somebody's just hurt this person really bad. This person's got heartbreak. This person's just lost a family member. You learn to understand that energy, them feelings. You learn to feel energy and put a story to it. Oh, I recognize that energy. You're not looking at them because you close your eyes. So, no difference between alive and dead. So if you're alive and you're there, I will attune to you. Okay, I'll attune to you. And I'll start to. I did. This is what I did when I was full time. It was hard. It was challenging, but it was rewarding. Until this day, I swear on my hand on my heart, I still get messages every day. I just received one from somebody beautiful. I can't remember them, but they said, Mark, I just want to thank you. I met you in Ibiza. You gave me a healing session and you gave me a reading, and you also told me that Spirit wanted me to gift you a set of rosary beads. I still have them to this day, and that was 3 hours ago. And they said, I love you. Okay? Now, I'm not being boastful. I swear to God I'm not. But I have people who send me messages like that all the time. People begging me to do a reading again or a healing. And I've retired. I don't do it because of, if you've read my book, in my book it tells you I had a silent heart attack because I took too much on, because that's the kind of guy I was. I wanted to please everybody. I wanted everybody to walk out of that door, and I wanted to go onto the Richie Allen show and say, you know what, we're winning this battle. We're winning. The light is winning. People are getting stronger, and they were, and it was evident that we were so close to this light enlightenment, in a way that darkness had no more power. And then soon as I said that on the Richie Allen radio show, COVID kicked in, or whatever happened. But my point being is, even when I stopped, I was doing videos, more videos, sharing as much information, helping people get stronger, giving people advice like, all right, this is what I used to read for people who are going through an awful pain. This was the message from the Spirit, not my message. I'm not the message, I'm the messenger. So, okay, what did Spirit say then? Okay, so I'm going to use that and say, this is what Spirit used to say for this reason, and that works. Everything that I ever share with you isn't psychology. It isn't something I've learned from a book. It's something that I attuned to and downloaded in front of my client and regurgitated the message from the spirit world. It wasn't my message. And when somebody says, you know, thank you so much for what you did for me, you changed my life. I didn't change anybody's life, but I am thankful to hear that message. It's like, you know what, at least I did something right. And I'm not the most perfect person in the world. I'm not easy to live with. I'm a difficult person sometimes. I'm different. I spend time on my own. I'm just weird and different, you know, like the David Bowies or the Nina Simones. I'm just different I'm not famous. I'm just different in the way they were. They were different. And I've always been different. I've always been ostracized. I've always been weird and strange and quirky and flamboyant. And I've never been just a normal lad. So whatever I do it with the spirit, the soul that I am. I do it from my heart. Whatever I do it from my heart, or else I won't do it. I won't ever do something if I don't do it from the heart. To me, that's just wasting of energy. So when I'm sat here and I get a presence of a spirit here, like, okay, I've not felt anything here, by the way. The only time I felt anything in Bali is when I went to the ghost hotel. It's the most haunted hotel in Bali. Everybody knows about it. I couldn't wait to get in there. And I was married at the time with Susie, and we went in there, and it was crazy, batshit crazy. And I knew exactly why that place had closed down. I could feel it. There was no way those spirits in that place, that area, would want anything. And that's why it all went, the story behind it's weird. Everything went wrong. But me and Susie walked in and she ran out, and I'm smiling, laughing. And then I attuned to a young girl, and I'm trying to help this young girl back into the light as I'm there. But the interesting thing about that one, when I finished doing what I was doing, they won't let me out. I actually got bloody frightened. I got frightened because I couldn't find my way out. And I knew whatever those spirits were, which weren't good, they were trapped, and there was some demonic stuff in there. I started getting nervous, and I never get nervous. I go into houses, play on my own, pubs, clubs, churches, anywhere. I am not frightened of spirit at all. But what frightened me is that they were sending me. And this hotel is humongous. I'm talking freaking massive. Run down, and you think you're going out, and then it takes you to another. And what I realized is that it kept leading me deeper into the place, and it wouldn't let me out. And I started getting really nervous. Like, I know what's going on here, I know what they're doing, and I had to snap myself out and say, I'm stronger than this. You don't have the power over me. So I kept walking, no fear, and 25 minutes later I got out. Fascinating. But I've got tons of stories, and I've wrote some of them down, and I've put them in books, and I try and share them with people to make them understand it's nothing special. It's just something that you learn and work on. And when you're sat down and a family has called you to their house and said, look, something's weird in this house, we've just bought it, we're not happy, something feels weird, daughter's not sleeping well, things are making noises in the night, no problem, just don't say anything anymore, let me just try and attune. So I sit there, I don't guarantee anything, but I sit there and try and feel the spirit. And if it's a trapped spirit, I try and communicate with it like I would do giving you a reading, and try and read you, try and feel you, try and understand you. And what happens is you start to feel their energy, and you realize that in and amongst the energy of trapped spirit, there is an energy of confusion, in the sense that I'm not confused, but they seem to be, because they don't realize that they're trapped in between two worlds. And at the start of my doing this work, I'm like, they honestly don't know. They actually think they're here in the now, and what the hell are you doing here and what you're talking about? So they actually believe that they're alive, but they're living in an illusion, a bit like us. There's something for you to think about. But it's, and imagine now trying to tell that man or that woman or that girl, or try and communicate with a baby. That's happened many a times, because a baby isn't like a gaga. A baby, you speak to the soul. That's why when babies look at you, they speak to you through their soul, and you speak to them through their soul. That's why you don't need to say anything, and they'll smile at you because you're talking to them through the soul. Just like two dogs talking to each other, or you talking to your dog, or your dog telling you want to go out. How do you know? Did he say he wants to go? Yeah, but I just know. I just feel it. You could say, oh, well, there's a cold reading involved. Yes, there is, but you also know. Sometimes you just know, and then you look at them, and then you think, oh, I was right. Because deep inside you, there is that ability, that telepathy that we've always had and always been there, but the darkness knows that it has to stop you from being the ultimate, beautiful, psychic, powerful soul that you are. So it uses every way it can to dumb you down, and it uses school to tell you you're stupid and you're an idiot, and that everything that you exaggerate, it's all exaggeration. You know, what are you talking about? And all of that was deliberately done by darkness to stop you being the light that you are. But some get through that. Some aren't affected by that. Some are actually, gosh, some are actually spotted, and some are sorry, lots of people walking by. Some are encouraged. Imagine. I mean, I used to have mums and dads come with their children saying there was something wrong with them, and I used to give the mum and dad's healing sessions, and then afterwards sit them all down, all three of them, saying, you've got a very special daughter here who sees things, and you need to nurture that. and you need to be interested in that. And then they'd go, my God, sorry, you're right. And, the daughter might be seeing spirit in the house and, saying to their mum and dad, there's a little girl here or there's a boy here and there's a ghost here, and then they don't know what to do with that. They have no idea what to do. So I had a lot of people come to me that I reassured them that they've got a special child, and you've got a special child, and you have to embrace that, and you have to encourage that, and you have to ask them questions and help them um, basically become stronger and more powerful, because this, when they get older, will be very, very, very powerful in their life and will help them. But the chances are it will disappear in a year or 6 months, 2 years maximum. That's normally the case. So, you know, I have a lot of information that I don't talk about because I don't find it relevant to most people, and I keep a lot of things to myself, and I keep pretending to myself I'm going to write books about these things that I've kept to myself. And every now and again I'll drop a few hints of what I've learned, but it's so rare, and I can't expect people to go out there into houses and even understand what I'm talking about, let alone become become somebody who can help spirit into the light. It's not easy, and it doesn't come with a reward. You'll get mocked and ridiculed. Only a very few people will believe you, and that's the ones who are actually going through it. Most people just don't want to be near you. They don't want to know you. They're frightened of you. They think you're crazy, weird. So we don't, it doesn't come with reward. The only reward it comes with is that when that moment happens and you're able to connect to that spirit and help them into the light, vibrate home. Okay, let's forget this fighting over the light. They vibrate naturally home from that in between two worlds. I can't explain. Not only is the physical relief incredible in the house, not only to you, but to the child, to the teenager, to the mum and dad, and to the dog, the cat. The relief of that is incredible. But the relief to you after what you've done, you think to yourself, I hope I can do it again. And there's been times that I haven't been able to do that. And that's frustrating because maybe the person that I'm trying to help isn't a pleasant person, and now you're going into a different field of work. Now what you're going into, maybe it's bordering heavy and a little bit dangerous, and they're doing it deliberately, and this person wasn't a nice person in this world, and they've carried that same energy there. They want to feed from you, they want to piggyback on you, and they want to get you to be angry, they want you to split up, they want you to, there's so many things. Now you're getting into a different realm, because I struggled helping those back into the light. And there's a catch 22 here. There's a double-edged sword, right? Which is, I use sage. And to this day, I don't know what happens to the soul that was trapped in between two worlds. What I hope would happen is that the darkness disappears and their true soul goes home. But if you were to ask me, what do you really truly think? If you were to make a guess, if you were to bet your life on it, what do you think? I would say that that soul is also a soul that comes from a different place than you and I, and they vibrate back into their home, or they end up leaving the house because of the sage, and where they go, I don't know, but I don't think it's somewhere where we can say they're home or they're safe and sound. For some reason, I always felt like, good, they've gone, done and dusted. Not like I've done a good job and sent them back to their not so nice world that they come from. It's almost like but there's this thing that was always put in my head. by many mentors and teachers and so on, and they said, and I've heard it to this day, that you cannot get rid of energy. You can only change energy. So I don't know how it's said, but you can't kill it. You can't make it disappear. You can only change energy. So I heard this from so many people. The thing is, when I'm working on somebody's stomach and they've got dark energy in there that they've created through somebody has said something or hurt them and done something really bad, and it's sat in their stomach, that energy there that I work on, I can feel that energy. Could be the feeling of, let's say, abuse that happened a lot, or let's say it was losing a losing a child, whether it was intentionally or unintentionally. I can feel that energy in the stomach, and that energy needs to go. So when I work on that energy, I can feel you become a vessel. The energy that pours through you then goes straight to that dark energy, and it disappears. I don't see a transformation of that energy. I see it disappearing, just vanishes. It's gone. I didn't see it transform. So this is, again, I try not to listen to people. I try to listen and see with my own eyes what happens. Now, your own energy, if it's kind of like weak and it's a little dark and it's, let's just say it's that much around you. If I give you pure energy healing, that energy starts to grow and grow and grow and grow. So with energy given to you, it expands. So I came to the understanding that my spirit world that gives me energy is the same energy that you are as a soul, as a battery life, and all it's doing is replenishing you like you would do when you go to sleep. And you either go home to the spirit world and replenish it, or just be in the ether, the atmosphere, the energy of the spirit world, because your spirit, when you're asleep, you can leave the body. Not always. They try their best not to let you get out of your body, and that's why they try and trap you in your body by poisoning you and doing as much as they can with frequencies and waves to trap you. So but we can go off in different directions with this topic, but the point being is, when I've worked on somebody who has come to me with a demonic energy attachment, so they're basically screaming and shouting, and it's not them, and they're saying it's not them, this isn't me. I know, I've been there too a couple of times, so I know it 2 or 3 times. I know exactly what they're saying, and as I'm working on them, that energy inside them, which is a demonic energy, when I'm putting light into that energy, that it's gone. It's gone. Where's it gone? It didn't go vroom, vroom, fly out of the room and it's gone out of the window. It just dissipates. It's like it's gone. Okay, it's no longer in the body. So it's so fascinating because there's so many different accounts that sometimes even contradicts in itself, that throw you off. So right after I'd finished doing all my healings, I decided to retire. I started working on oils and more crystals, and I started working on this oil which is called sacred oil. It's absolutely beautiful. If you haven't tried it, it's absolutely amazing. So it's a combination of Palo Santo, frankincense, and sage, and there were a lot of hours gone into it, and a lot of pure energy healing gone into it. And I'd stopped healing, but still people knew who I were, and there was a banging at the door, and I opened the door, and there was a young girl, and she was black and blue. So I couldn't say no. She came in, she was crying, laid her down, and I gave her a healing session. We hugged, she left. Her father, we waited a few minutes, her father came, he was very thankful. she'd been beaten up by a guy really badly, and now they were going to go and blah blah blah. So they went. So I came back into the room, and I'm like, fucking hell, my back's killing. And at that moment, I realised that I've picked something up, and I hadn't cleansed myself quick enough. Like, oh shit. And I could feel it, right? Now, up at that point, you don't think I don't think. It's like, oh, it's just there, I need to get rid of it. Soon, I thought this would be the perfect time to get my new oil and see if it works. This is exactly why I've made the sacred oil. Surprise, surprise, that happened, eh? So I took the cork top off, and I took some and rubbed it on my back here. And I swear to God, at that moment, I recognised something that I hadn't in 20 years. The energy moved to the other side. It literally, I could feel it moving round here. And in shock, not really understanding it, just thinking, it's here now. It's here now. Okay, not thinking it, but I actually felt it move. And I got some more oil and I rubbed it there and all around my belly, and then it was gone. It was gone. And not only did I think, oh my God, this oil is amazing, but for the first time I realized that energy has consciousness. It understands. I think the main reason why I continued healing, which I'm normally somebody who doesn't stay long at any one thing, I realised that I didn't know anything. And even to this day, I still don't know anything. Although I know a lot, but I still don't know anything, and I don't think any of us do. So whatever we talk about, whether it's the light trap or whether it isn't the light trap, none of us really know anything. The best we can do, in my opinion, is this: be the strength that you are. Whenever I have been in a situation of dark and demonic energy, the only thing that ever worked was my power of belief in me. And if you were to ask me, all right, Mark, you say you think you know, but you don't know, what are you going to do when you go into the light? I tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to have my crystals on. And if I don't, I'm going to be in the strongest of places where I know that nothing and nobody can put fear into that moment. And I am going to transition in the most natural way back home, because nothing can fool me. Nobody will trick me, because no one has the power over me. And that's where I'll leave it tonight. And I'm wishing you all an absolutely amazing day. Be the best you can be the kindest you can be, because at the moment of leaving this world, if your conscious is like, you know what, pal, I've done my best, I ain't got no regrets, I ain't fearing anything, I'm not weak, I am happy with what I've done on this planet, and I've done my best. That is an energy that kills fear, that no demonic entity can fool you at that point. But if you are going forward with fear, they can smell it a mile off. They can trick you just like that dodgy guy knocking on your door telling you your house is falling down and you need to have this done, or else it's going to fall down, and you're panicking and you believe him, or you say, you know what, pal, get stuffed. There's a reason why we say know thyself. So today, know thyself. Take care. Love you all from Bali. Bye for now.